Welcome,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, we had some tech issues here. I hope everything is still fine with you. So we are back from Biel, the 56th International Chess Festival. Angelika Volkova and I'm Graham Stratonations. We are your hosts for this year's festival. And we just had the first 4 rounds of the Chess 960 tournament. A lot of exciting action was in the first 4 rounds, and round 5 is about to start.
Yes, exactly. And we have actually the player who participated in the previous year Chess 960 tournament and didn't play that well, leading this tournament, Yu Yanyi, with 3.5 out of 4 points. Maybe let's look at the leaderboard for now.
Right, and there you go. You see Yu Yanyi is making it very apparent that his last year's performance was just an accident, because this year he's coming back with clear intentions to win the tournament. He has scored 3.5 points out of 4. He was a bit lucky, of course, Angelika, right? Because he was gifted this mate in 1 against Wang Lian. But winners should be lucky. And this means that he has a sizable lead in the overall rankings. And talking about the pairings, there you go. Once again, this is going to be round 5. Ordinary guys against Yu Yanyi. I believe this is going to be the first game we are going to start with.
Absolutely, and then we have Deak against Lequan Liam. Also exciting games. I mean, all the players are extremely strong. Vincent Keimer versus David Navarra, and Bassem Amin against Jules Moussard. And yeah, I mean, let's get back to the rankings to see who is on the second place. The whole brigade with 2 points.
All right, so let's jump in the action. So let me see if we can already get the players sitting at the board. There you go. You see Arjun is ready. Yu Yanyi is ready. The games are about to start in something like 2 minutes. So in the meantime, maybe you can post your questions, impressions, whatever you have on your heart. You can post in the chat. We are going to use our available time at some point to answer your questions. 3 more rounds to go. So once again, yeah, maybe let's very quickly revisit what is the tournament system.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what is going to be ahead of this Chess 960 tournament today. We are going to witness 28 games in 3 different tournaments. There will be all round robin between our 8 top grandmasters. So we have classical 7 games, in rapid as well 7 games, and in blitz we're going to have 14 games each color. Here we have the point scoring system, and we see that the win is actually rewarded higher. So if in a classical game you're playing 2 draws, you'll get just 3 points, and if you're for a win, you're getting 4 points. So it for sure makes participants play harder and try to win. In rapid, we have the 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and in blitz 1 point for a win and half a point for a draw.
And you see that this Chess 960 tournament actually serves only as a tiebreaker in case there's going to be a tie of their overall points. Everything is summed together, and in the end, the winner is going to get 10,000 Swiss francs. But here you see the time control. For the Chess 960 tournament, the time control is exactly the same as in the rapid tournament, 15 minutes plus 5 seconds. But I believe, Angelika, that we have to jump back in the action because the games have already started.
Exactly, and we have our first board. Eric Gaisi against Yu Yanyi, the leader with the black pieces, and we see already one before. Let's go. Very interesting.
All right, what do we have here? I don't think we already had such a position before.
I mean, one before, and queen was attacking on g7. So that's why Yu Yanyi had to play f6, block that threat.
Right, here you go. Yeah, b4 comes with a direct threat. Attack the pawn on g7, which might also drop the rook. So, of course, black has to react. He plays f6, he brings the bishop in the game. f3 played immediately, b6, almost symmetrical.
Almost symmetrical, yes. But what is grabbing more space, playing c4. Yeah, I mean, opening also the bishop on b1. Maybe c5 could be a move to follow.
Yeah, there's many moves.
Many moves.
c5 would lead to some symmetrical position, right? c5, b takes, everything is the same. really difficult to tell. Who benefits from that? I guess white's extra tempo should matter.
Already knight e6. I don't know which knight, but some knight to e6 and then c5 with the idea to recapture with a knight on c5. But
Also, I think that Arjun definitely is looking for something to change because the tournament so far, okay, it's not going badly for him. He has 2 points out of 4. As you can see, there's a huge group of players from the 2nd to 6th place with 2 points out of 4 or 50%, and one very clear leader. And that's why I think that everybody who is going to play against the leader will want to beat him, right? So here Arjun has the white color, and I think that he's looking for a big fight here.
yeah, and actually in the break you could see in the camera that almost all the players were there gathering in one corner, and Arjun was one of them. Maybe he got some advices, from from his colleagues in the upcoming game against Yu Yang, who knows.
Right.
Okay, so maybe let's go to the next game.
Yeah, maybe I'll very quickly add this thought, Angelica, that after c5, might be a problem with bishop e4. And that's why Yu Yang is not doing that immediately, because d5, there might be some problems with this pawn.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
But we are going to come back to this game later because this is a leader game. And c6, by the way, is played. Brave choice. Let's move to the board number 2.
Yeah, so we have here the similar. No, wait. Yeah, you have to refresh because it's a normal. So for now.
Yeah, but I think we are going to get exactly the same position.
Yeah, only bishop is on e5.
Maybe not.
Bishop is blocking b pawn to move, so that's a really interesting approach. We already seen it in quite a few games when the bishop was coming to the center, e5, e4, d5, d4, and just blocking the queen. Once we had the position with queen on the edge, king cannot simply develop. Yeah, that's a big problem for white.
Right. I also would like to point your attention, dear viewers, here is that after black c5, white took it. And I mean, again, this is not random act, obviously. But what Diak is trying to do here, he's trying to get a non-symmetrical position. Because normally you get your chances in non-symmetrical positions. And this also, I think, shows his ambition that he wants to win this game. And it really depends how black could play. If black plays something like e6, d5, then white could take it, opening this potential weakness. So again, after something like fourth move, we already have a pretty unique position.
Very unique position, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that what we might see here is something like d6, knight d3, bishop f6, keeping the bishop on this long diagonal. Maybe there's even knight g4. Opportunities are all but limitless.
Yeah, absolutely. The opportunities are indeed limitless. Opponents can go for any idea, basically. Yeah, I mean, the knight has to get out. The bishop on g8 also has to get out. It's very hard to predict what is going to be played. But yeah, let's move maybe to see what happens on the board number 3.
Game number 3.
I mean, I think all the players are not playing very fast in this round because position is completely, position is very strange with the queens on a1 as they try to understand how they want to develop the pieces. And here we have already quite some moves played. White wants to go for d4 break.
It seems that this b6 move, Angelica, is quite a popular choice because pretty much in all the games it was played. Third game, second game, first game, I already don't remember. I think it was c5 played.
Before was
second move already is a mistake. Okay, this is really record today. I don't think I've seen it because you play a central move e4. Apparently, it's a mistake. I mean, why it's a mistake?
What about f5 or it's too much?
Maybe because of f5. If this was the reason, then I mean, come on, really? Okay, here we go. f5, knight f5, take it. Oh, that's a check. I thought I can play knight g7.
No,
okay.
it's not.
That's just a check. Then indeed it works because e takes on e5 is queen takes on g2. Although the rook on h1 is protected.
It's not so clear.
How do you properly evaluate it?
Yes, that's always a question.
c4, bishop d4. Oh my goodness. You know, this is really funny. Second move already is a mistake, the most logical move, at least according to Chess.com engine. Fine.
Okay.
F3, mistake, fine. 93, mistake, fine. Okay, C3, 96, and what do we have here?
Out of 5 moves, 3 are mistakes. So
3 mistakes.
okay, so white wants really to go for this d4 push. Looks very logical. Just to try to grab the center, to bring the pawns to the center, trying to normalize the position, probably something like bishop f2 maybe, and trying short castle.
Yeah, bishop f2, short castle. This is something that I would also be considering here. I think that what Vincent is thinking here, what would be the normal approach of a grandmaster? Okay, I'm not sure about knight g3 really. I think it's a bit strange, right? Because normally, especially in chess 960, you want to push one of the central pawns to get some clarity, then you play knight g3, but maybe it doesn't really matter. So this I understand, it makes sense. You fight for the space, you bring the bishop in the game, you activate the knight, and I think that normally what you want to do is you want to activate the pieces which you don't see that they have any future. So the knight on g3, you see that this knight has no future. I mean, the pawn on g6 blocks it. So that's why you give this move a high priority. And you play knight e2 first over some other moves.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how you're choosing the candidate moves and choosing the moves here in the position. But again, the positions are very complicated because they are absolutely uncommon, and yeah, sometimes players are trying to normalize the position, trying to get something familiar, but sometimes players are just having fun. And
Right.
yeah.
And this is actually a repeat, you know, this matchup between David Navarra against Vincent Keimer, because they met in the official Random World Championship qualifier. I think we mentioned this in the beginning of this broadcast, right? In the quarterfinal qualifier match where Navarra won 1.5 against half a point, and in the end Navarra would advance to the final match of the qualifying this knockout tournament. There was actually of this 2022 World Championship, there was actually a number of wins. There were several Swiss qualifiers, something like over 100 players in each would participate. Then something like top 16, something like that would qualify for the knockout tournament. Some pretty good grandmasters were playing there. And Navarra, in his tournament, in his group, he qualified for the final of this tournament. And then he lost to Matthias Blubom, which was probably a smallish upset. I'm not really sure, because Matthias Blubom, of course, is also a very strong grandmaster. And in the end, Navarra did not qualify for this top 8, which was held later, I think it was October, in Reykjavik, where Magnus Carlsen, Jan Nepomniachtchi, all the greats were playing. So Blubom went there, and Navarra, unfortunately, did not. So Navarra is definitely a very skilled player when it comes to chess 960, but Vincent, he's the defending champion of the chess 960 tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's actually also showing quite some impressive games and ideas in this event. So he's trying to defend his title. And actually, yeah, Yuan is trying to to get that title for himself. Okay, so
Let's check the
bishop
fourth game.
C2.
Let me just try to find the camera feed. There we go.
Okay, so we have Bassem Amin against Jules Moussard.
This is not the position. Don't
That
you get
is not the
excited?
position.
This is.
Okay. But there was still some great move there. We're going to look at it later. Yeah, it's like
Some very exciting move.
before,
Okay, before.
also like in the first game.
So everybody who says that, what was it, the Polish
Polish
opening or Polish defense? Or was this a
Polish defense is from black, but
From black.
yeah.
Okay, then this was orangutan opening, yeah? Everybody who says orangutan cannot be played, it can be played. You just saw it, especially in chess 960. Whoa, look at that, look at that. So b4, f6, c4. I think this was actually a trap by Jules
Yeah.
Moussard. Look at this, b5. That's amazing. So he's attacking the pawn on c4 with the bishop, with a pawn. And also the queen is attacking the pawn on g2.
Yes, double attack, and it's just actually incredible. You don't expect something like this to happen on the second move, but here we are. Here we are, b5 was played, and he actually took the pawn on g2.
I beg to differ, knight g3 is not an excellent move. It's just a move which protects
It was the
rook.
only move.
That's the only move. a4, c6, bishop b4 makes sense. You know, I have, again, seen this move so many times that the players really like to bring the bishop out in the game as quickly as they can to cause some issues, although it's d5 immediately. Bishop f3, e5, so Jules managed to win the fight for the center. Knight f5, e4. No, this is not good. This is not good for white. I have a feeling that something has gone wrong for the Egyptian top grandmaster, because I mean, even here with the naked eye, right? You see that black's position is harmonious. So you have the center. You have a beautiful coordination of the pieces. They're standing well. The bishop on g8 as well. The knight on g6 is coming, or g6 or e6. And now, yeah, I guess when you start to make, who was this? Who said this first? I think it was Botvinnik, or was it Petrosian? Maybe it was Petrosian who said it. It's very difficult to stop the series of bad moves. So as soon as you start to make a bad move, and your position is bad, you just cannot make good moves in a bad position.
You might not stop.
Bad and bad and bad moves, right? So you just cannot stop the series. And that's why here, for example, Chess.com Engine says it's another bad move because the position already is not really great. And on the contrary, black just makes some logical moves. He has the space, he has better pieces. Bishop e5 is incoming. This is an opening disaster for Bassem.
Absolutely, like the pawns are just coming forward, claiming more and more space advantage. This is for sure the opening, disaster opening didn't go well. The bishop on g1 is just waiting for something, like absolutely, and I don't know
what's it waiting for, really.
I don't know what he's waiting for, and I know what to play, actually, what to advise white to play. Like, you cannot jump with a knight from f5, bishop on g4 is hanging. Maybe h3 is a move, but okay, then bishop e5, what are you doing against it? This is a real
Bishop
disaster.
e5 or even knight e5 could be a move, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Attacking the bishop, going here. Your pawn majority from the white's perspective, I don't think it really plays any role here because the board is full with pieces. Also, by the way, knight b4 could be a threat at some point, which I, by the way, failed to mention that black can just take the pawn.
But there can be actually some rook c8 and knight g7 ideas after knight b4.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
But okay, this is just very complicated position, but we see for sure that Jules is very, very comfortable, and there is not much he can be afraid of here. I
mean, Jules technically is a very small underdog in the GMT because technically, right? Because he's rated only 2650, but he was a couple of months ago, I think, rated almost 2690.
Yeah.
So definitely, I don't think he treats himself as an underdog, and he's playing well. He's playing well in this tournament, having only -1. He had a very interesting endgame against Diak. He had
interesting against Arjun Erigaisi.
Arjun Erigaisi, right? So he's playing well, and now he has a good position. Okay.
And he had an interesting endgame against Vincent Keimer also. He's an endgame master, or not master.
Endgame master, yeah.
Okay,
that was really painful.
Let's come back to our game of the leader, maybe?
Maybe? Okay.
Maybe?
Let's do it.
Because there are so many moves being made. Let's see.